It's January 8th, JLD here, and welcome to MSTR Today and the Treasury Titans. And listen, nothing in this video is financial advice, but sometimes a year just doesn't go the way that you hoped or the way that you planned. 2025 did not go the way that Michael Saylor, Strategy, myself, or anybody else that was really bullish Bitcoin thought it was going to go. But today's a new year. We took our lumps last year. As you can see, Saylor taking his lumps right now. And now we are off to the races in 2026. A lot of tailwinds, a lot of bullishness coming, but who knows where this market's going to be this year. I love what's set up for this year, but for me, it's the 3, the 5, the 10 years that's really going to pay the massive dividends for people who stay on Team Bitcoin, who stay on Team Strategy, who keep believing in the thesis and the strategy that Michael Saylor has created. Let's go ahead and move on over to Michael Saylor coming to us from our nation's capital. That is Washington, D.C. And he says bullish in DC, and that is bullish with a capital Bitcoin B. Michael Saylor and Fong Li posing for a great photo at our nation's capital. So who knows what's going on, but I love that these men are always working. I love that the strategy team is always putting in the hours. I love the trajectory that we have for us. Ragnar says, perfect day for stretch so far. And this was yesterday. The low was 99.99, only for a few short ticks. The high was $100.07. And we've been above 100 for pretty much the whole trading day. So far, 67 million in volume. The ATM is humming and Strategy is able to buy Bitcoin for $91,000. Perfect day. And I totally agree. We've all been waiting for it since it happened a few weeks ago when Strategy was able to raise over $111 million in 1 week due to Stretch. And I think it was actually just a few days that they had it going for Stretch, maybe like 2.5 or 3.5 days. The Stretch was above 100. Hopefully all day today and all day tomorrow, we'll be seeing the exact same thing. And in fact, I'm hoping and expecting it's going to be this way all the way through January 15th. So time will tell. Strategy Maxi says, longer this continues, more exponential money for Strategy to acquire Bitcoin. Digital credit is better. MSTR is going to hit all-time highs. Bears get wrecked. Shorts get wrecked. And that is Stretch trading over $100. Just absolutely activating the flywheel. And then Chris wants us to know, or wants to ask us, are you starting to get it yet? MSTR. Bitcoin's down 2.7%, IBIT's down 1.7%, and MSTR is up 2.23%. Of course, that was in large part to the bullish news on the MSCI non-exclusion, so therefore not getting excluded from MSCI. But at the same time, we'll take wins where we can get them. Hugh says, this is the biggest story in the history of finance. Most people just don't realize it yet. Stretch just got to 100. As you can see, it was here at 100 a few weeks ago. When was that? I guess that was back in mid-November. So maybe that was about a month and a half ago. And now it's finally back there, and hopefully it stays pegged there for quite some time as well. Time will tell. Zing says, this is the most important thing to happen today. Stretches back to 100, which means Seller can finally start tapping the ATM. Who needs the indices? People, the people who do like 11% dividend yield after all. Too compelling to ignore. Bitcoin is going to $1 million. It's inevitable. Chris says, I don't think I've ever seen a stock expose people's level of intelligence quite like MSTR. You do not have to have an opinion on the stock, but if you do decide to have an opinion, at least do the proper work. And Chris just put this so well. I feel like this is a fight I'm fighting every single day. It's like, listen, I don't personally have an opinion on any other stock in the stock market because I have not put in the work. So I'm not going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about. I'm clueless. I have other investments. Like I do have an investment in Tesla. I would never go out there and argue with a Tesla bear about Tesla because I just really believe in Elon Musk and the company that he's building and AI and robotics. I believe in those things. And so I'm going to hope that Tesla does well, but I'm not going to sit out there and have opinions on it. I'm just going to hope and think that Tesla's going to go do well for those reasons that I just mentioned. But so many people love to just come on time after time and say, oh, well, MSTR is down 70% in the past year, or it was at $543. What happened? It's like, you have literally done no work. Yes, the stock was way in euphoria phase, was way overbought, was way up in the hype cycle at that point. And guess what? The people that bought it there paid the piper for jumping onto that euphoria, and now they are bitter, little boys. They are bitter old men, and they are just so mad about the reality of their stock being down that they invested in, that they did no work in. And now they want to just come out and say Ponzi, scam, liquidation, having done no work. Again, if Tesla was a crash 60, 70%, I would just be like, man, I'm bummed, but geesh, like I don't have an opinion on this because I've not done the work with Tesla. I just believe in the thesis and the vertical and the founder. That's what I believe in. With strategy, I put in thousands and thousands of hours into this company. I understand so intimately the ins and the outs. And you have people that come in who have done literally no work, just look at price action, and they want to say something about a scam, a Ponzi, Michael Saylor getting investigated like 27 years ago. I mean, it's absolutely ludicrous. And it just exposes their level of intelligence, that they're willing to have a strong opinion, having done literally no work and having literally no understanding of a stock. So well said, Chris. And Chris also wants to say the strategy is building a Bitcoin-backed empire that is uniquely positioning it to dominate the fixed income market for decades to come, and with a clear pathway to becoming the most valuable company in the world. He has a full MSTR thesis updated for 2026, including his valuation model and price predictions. And this is a thread. And I'll tell you, we're not going to go through it today, but we will be going through this, and it's quite a great thread. One of the reasons why we're not going to go through is because I'm going to go through one of Jeff's longer posts. He has this very long post warning, but I actually decided it was too long for this show. So if you want to go check it out, please do go check it out. But I instead went to MSTR here and MSTR. I went to ChatGPT, and I decided that I was going to have ChatGPT sum it up for me. So here's MSTR's year-end, aka the silent power play. 1, holiday hustle. Between December 29th and the 31st, Strategy quietly issued 1.26 million shares. That's $195 million in only 17.5 trading hours. That's an average of $186,000 per minute, while most of Wall Street was still digesting Christmas cookies. Number 2, smart timing, smarter use. Every preferred dividend, that's $144 million, was due on December 31st, and they paid it entirely from that raise. The remaining $52 million went straight into the USD reserves. 3, new year, new ammo. On January 2nd, they raised another $116 million from 735 shares, buying 1,283 Bitcoin, almost 3x the daily new Bitcoin supply. And here's a snapshot from Q4 of 2025. Their unrealized fiat loss was $5.4 billion. Their deferred tax asset was plus $1.55 billion. And their USD reserves is $2.25 billion. That's 32 months of dividend coverage. Let's go on the FUD versus facts. Critics yell Ponzi. Well, MSTR now has 50% more Bitcoin year over year and 23% more Bitcoin per share exposure. The firm sits on 672,000 Bitcoin and 7.3 billion net positive since inception. The 2026 setup with Bitcoin at 93.5K. Obviously, it's lower now, but MSTR holds $4 billion in unrealized profit. At 126,000, that's $25 billion in profit. At 150, that's $42 billion of profit. Every $1,000 move in Bitcoin adds $673 million in value. What's the bigger picture? The Bitcoin balance sheet is up 50% year over year. Digital credit, the prefers, is maturing fast. USD reserves deep. Risk is mispriced and sentiment is lagging. Saylor strategy is morphing into a global monetary super balance sheet. TLDR. While critics screamed unsustainable, strategy raised, paid, stacked, and strengthened, turning a down fiat year into a stellar Bitcoin year. 2026 might be the year the world realizes what they've quietly built. And by the way, if they don't, it'll be 2027 or 2028. It's inevitable. It's coming. And I just want to end on this note from Hugh because I think it's pretty powerful. I'm not sure who needs to hear this, but Bitcoin is going to 400,000 this year, and there's nothing you can do about it. If you sold your stack because of the 4-year cycle or because someone drew some lines on a chart, no amount of doom posting is going to change the reality of what is about to happen. You effed up, admit it, move on. You can still buy it back at 0.09 million, or you can wait and buy some of it when it rockets back up to 0.4 million. Choose wisely. And Michael Saylor's got some great content coming your way, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. When you want more for your business, start with Northwest Registered Agent and get access to thousands of free guides, tools, and legal forms to help you launch and protect your business all in one place. Build your complete business identity with Northwest today. Your business identity is more than your logo or website. It's everything that defines who you are and how you operate, from what your customers see to what they don't, like operating agreements, meeting minutes, and compliance paperwork. With Northwest, you'll get more for your business, more privacy, more guidance, and more free resources than you'll find anywhere else. For nearly 30 years, Northwest Registered Agent has helped entrepreneurs form, grow, and protect their businesses. They're the largest registered agent and LLC service in America, powered by over 1,500 corporate guides, real people who know the local laws and can help you every step of the way. Don't wait. Protect your privacy, build your brand, and get your complete business identity in just 10 clicks and 10 minutes. Visit www.northwestregisteredagent.com/JLD free and start building something amazing. Get more with Northwest Registered Agent at www.northwestregisteredagent.com/JLD free. Michael Saylor just made an $835 million bet buying the Bitcoin dip. Right now, Bitcoin's fallen almost 40% off its October high, and the big money is buying the dip. What's your strategy? Now might be a great time to convert your IRA or 401k to Bitcoin with the help of Bit IRA. Plus, you can fund it with pre-tax funds, then continue to invest in it over time as you do any other retirement account. Bit IRA protects your assets with end-to-end insurance, highly secure storage, multi-encryption, and registered with the US government. Your IRA is fully IRS compliant. Best of all, you can trade crypto within your retirement account without incurring taxes on any buys or sells. Just go to bitira.com/JLD and request a free info guide. Once you do that and open your IRA, you'll get a free ledger. Bitcoin has proven time and time again to rebound, every cycle going from a higher low to a higher high. With Strategy's latest purchase, Michael Saylor clearly believes Bitcoin is at a discount. Time for you to get in too? Go to bitira.com/JLD to open a tax-sheltered IRA in Bitcoin.
So what is the idea with digital credit? It's very simple. You sell a treasury credit instrument, you convert it into currency of choice, you strip the vol off of it, and you hand someone 600 basis points or 800 basis points more than the risk-free rate. Right? What is the ideal product? The product that is felt to be useful by the people of the world. Okay. Well, what do people find to have value? Well, there's a word in the English language for something that everybody finds valuable. It's called money. That's the word, right? If you actually generate 600 or 800 basis points of additional yield in the currency of choice, you have created the perfect product. Well, what is the perfect product? It's the product that someone is deaf, dumb, blind, in a coma, yet unborn, would still find valuable. Right? I thought the iPhone was the perfect product at a point, but I'm on the iPhone 17 Pro Max. There's 35 versions. We're going to be in the iPhone 137 by the time your grandchildren are born. But you put something like this in a portfolio, it's going to work for them whether they know it or not. So I'll just end with this. Right? What have we done? Well, we've created an equity, and if you want enhanced exposure to digital capital and digital credit, you buy the equity. That's how you get the amplified roller coaster. And if you're the equity investor and you want that kind of amplification, you buy it. If you don't trust anybody, if you want no counterparty risk to a company or no currency risk, buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the index on the crypto economy. What does that mean? It's the index on the free market economy. If you want to buy the free market capital index, you just buy Bitcoin. It is the risk-free rate for a person that believes in digital assets and the digital economy. If you want to have your cake and eat it too, you buy something like Strike, a convertible preferred. It gives you a guaranteed dividend, some portion of upside, consistent income, and principal protection. If you want to maximize cash flow, you buy one of the high-yield instruments like STRD. It's 13% tax deferred. If you don't quite trust the company and you want to make sure that you've got some investor protection and some penalty if they try to skip a dividend, you buy the senior instrument like Strife or Stream. And if you simply want to strip all the volatility away and just get something much better than your bank or your money market, you would buy the Treasury credit instrument. Now, if you're not sure what you want right now, I will tell you what you want. What you want is you want this treasury instrument that is basically a high yield bank account. You want to be paid 10.5% with the tax deferred for the next 10 years, right? When you change your mind, you sell it for the same price you bought it and you go do something that gets you something better. But at the end of the day, I know a lot of Bitcoin maxis, a lot of Bitcoin believers. There aren't very many of them that would say, I'm going to actually put all the money I need to pay my kids' tuition in the fall into Bitcoin. They all have treasuries. They all have near-term obligations. And if your choice is to get 30% ARR with more than 30 vol, or to get 10% tax deferred with no volatility, there's a lot of people that would put some portion of their money into that no volatility 10% guarantee. It's pretty compelling, especially if you can borrow the money at 4 and you can get into the carry trade. So with that, I would thank you for your time. And I would just say, I think if you're a financier and you're an investor and you think really hard right now, what I've shared has implications for every company that has digital assets on its balance sheet. It has implications for equity investors. It has implications for credit investors. And the only thing I would say is it's worth thinking hard about. We say Bitcoin takes 100 hours to understand. That's a 15-second ad. It doesn't take even 100 seconds to understand, a bank account that pays me 10% and I don't get taxed on it, right? That's like, too good to be true. What's the catch? But just like a lot of people don't want to play with fire or explosives, they all would like a car with an automatic transmission that's got fire and an ignition inside it that will take them here. So we're now on the verge of being able to create some wonderful financial instruments that will appeal not to the crypto maxis or the innovators or the tech investors. It's the mission is give 1 billion people 10% tax deferred, right? Everywhere in the world. And it's kind of cool in the US, but if you live in Switzerland or Japan and you're getting 50 basis points or less, there's a difference between nothing and 10% return on your capital. It's a revolution in finance. And I think in the last 12 months, my eyes have been opened and I realized that our mission is to go and digitally transform the entire credit marketplace, which means the banking industry and all of finance, and we can do it everywhere in the world on a strong Bitcoin-based foundation. Thank you. What's the second best? There is no second best.